Hello traders, hello everyone, and welcome here on TradingView, where I will share my quick outlooks here for this upcoming week. So I will look at the euro dollar. Also, we'll touch Kiwi and the Bitcoin at the end. So, as you know, we have a very important, very busy week, which will start tomorrow, when we finally may see some interesting price action after some slow price move over the last few trading days. So we have the US CPI tomorrow, and it should be an important event to for speculators to know in which direction they may turn, because there will be bets regarding upcoming FOMC decision. So we are interested to see if the inflation is going to be stable or coming even lower, or maybe on the other hand, if inflation will suddenly jump higher. So Powell, on last minutes, he mentioned that actually they are ready to slow down the hiking pace, and if deflation will be stable or come even lower, I think that obviously US dollar will be sold even further. Even if inflation will somehow try to jump up a little bit, I still think that Fed will be very careful with hiking rates going into the next year, because they are aware of the recession. So I see US dollar in bearish mode, and also this is clearly visible and clearly defined through the euro dollar. You can see that this pair is turning very nicely to the upside after a very long decline here, which I believe was impulsive from 2021 highs. More importantly, we are now turning higher and breaking some of the previous fourth wave resistance levels. So we have 1, 2, 3 fourth waves of lesser degrees, and normally when this happens with such a very sharp price action, this is usually indication the trend has changed. Okay, so I would not be surprised if we see more upside, but of course, important levels that were recently broken can also become a very important and strong support, which should be the case if this recovery is really going to take us higher. Also, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, I think we have a pretty nice and clear wave structure here. That was wave 1. You had a wave 2, which made a flat correction here, and then you have a very nice 5 waves up for a wave 3. Now, wave 3 in Elliott wave terms will normally be extended wave, much longer compared to wave 1, like in our case. So normally when you see this type of extension with the clear 5 subwaves, you can assume that market is really trading in this higher degree bullish impulse. Also, if you draw some channels here, I connected the bottom here, the starting point actually of the whole cycle, and the bottom of wave 2, and then I put the parallel line at the top of wave 1. And notice that we had a very strong rise, okay, above and breakout above this upper trend line of this channel. Okay, usually that's a confirmation that market is really in its very strong impulsive bullish rise. Okay, it's completely opposite when you have a counter trend movement, because that's when the same trend line will act as a resistance. So this did not happen. We have a confirmation that price is very strong, and normally that's when that's the case, you can expect more upside after the next pullbacks. So I think that the next upcoming pullback could be a wave 4. Maybe not that far away. Notice that we have some wedge here forming in this fifth wave of wave 3. Also, if you look just at the price action, you can clearly see some overlaps here, and it's much slower compared to the previous very strong rises. So in my opinion, this is quite a nice indication that bulls are currently losing the strength and momentum. This is also visible through the RSI, where we have divergence. So ideally, we will see these pullbacks. Of course, the pullbacks will be very temporary, and I think that ideal zone would be here around 103 for a new bounce. Of course, I'm not saying that we will see that level happening, but for me, at least at this stage, the price is a little bit too high, and I don't want to look for any longs with this type of a formation here when we have this wedge, since we know that this is a reversal pattern. So ideally, I will just wait on the next 3 wave setback, and then we'll potentially define new entries on the long side. Also, what I usually do whenever I see US dollar trading to the downside, I want to compare different dollar pairs to see which is the strongest currency, okay, and which is the weakest. And notice that here on the top I have US notes, which are obviously trading very nicely to the upside since this was since start of November or so, and at the same time you can see here in red we have US dollar coming to the downside. So what I see is that actually if the Fed will slow down really the hiking pace, or maybe even stop hiking in 2023, the US yields could come much lower. And if that would be the case, you will see this US dollar index also coming to the downside. So the question is, where are the best trades in this kind of environment? Well, I compared all of the majors of the US versus the US dollar here at the bottom. And you can see that at the top, we have actually New Zealand dollar, which is in green. So this one is the strongest since the US dollar index found the top and the US yields also turned to the downside. So we have Kiwi the strongest. So if I want to be dollar short, this is definitely one of the pairs that I will also look for. So I want to show you the wave structure on this Kiwi here. Firstly, let's take a look at some of the big charts. Actually, it's not really that I should focus on a very big Elliott wave pattern, because normally I just trying to put my trades on a shorter term wave structure. But what I really like on this recent price action is that market actually, after this very strong sell-off, was able to stabilize at this multi-year trend line support. So for me, that's a bullish indication. Even if we will remain stuck in this very big contracting range, I still think that there is a chance for a rise towards the upper side of this range. Okay, so we have a very nice bounce, and I definitely want to be long within this recovery. So I want to look at the price action here on a smaller time frames, and notice that we have a pretty nice ongoing impulse here. So that's a wave one. You had a wave two, very nice extensions within a wave three. So what I will observe in the next few weeks is obviously a pullback. So maybe we are still here in this wave four, potentially could be building some kind of an irregular formation. And normally in irregular formation, you will typically see that price will try to find the support at the wave A, which is here around 63. Also notice that we have this starting point of a wave 4 of one lesser degree, also could react as a very nice support around this level, which comes in actually at 62.90. And then we have the lower range of the supports, which is at 60.80 to 61.60. So these are the two support zones. Let me just mark this. These are the two support zones that I would pay attention on the next dip. So if we'll see these pullbacks, then definitely I will pay a close attention to the price action in this range, because in these zones, because I think that there can be some very nice solid opportunities on the long side, especially if we consider that the US dollar appears to be trading in a bearish mode. But in the short term, as I said, there could be some pullbacks, which is also visible through the euro dollar here as a shot. And now finally, let's take a look on Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is trading sharply to the downside. We have this one, I'm showing you just one account in this video, and looks like that even if this is a very aggressive bearish structure, I see prices coming down into a fifth wave. Maybe some more weakness here could be dealing, because we have potentially wedge formation or ending diagonal in the making. We'll see if this will be the case, but for now we don't see a completed 5 subways within wave 5. So that's why it's important just to realize that maybe that maybe cryptos will not bottom just yet. But if in 2023 we will see maybe stocks trying to stabilize and come even higher, we can already see this in the European markets, then I also think that cryptos will see some kind of a recovery. The sentiment is very pessimistic here on cryptos, very bearish, and that's normally indication that we are in the late stages of these bearish cycles. Okay, Therese, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a like or a commentary below this video if you have any kind of questions. Bye.